Now we come to another two-verse paragraph in which Isaiah makes a clear point between faith and doubt. He says, "Therefore, thus says my Lord Jehovah, I lay in Zion a stone, a keystone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. They who believe it will not do rashly." Other prophets clarify that this precious cornerstone is the Lord. Paul said, "Therefore you are no longer strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and members of God's household, built on the foundation of the apostles and prophets, with Christ Jesus himself as the cornerstone. In him the whole building is fitted together and grows into a holy temple in the Lord." Modern revelation echoes this truth. "Wherefore I am in your midst, and I am the good shepherd, and the stone of Israel. He that buildeth upon this rock shall never fail." The metaphor of a cornerstone may be based on the construction of Solomon's temple. Discoveries by the Palestine Exploration Fund have shown the existence of cornerstones under Solomon's temple that are 38 feet long and weigh over 100 tons. Of these stones, the chief cornerstone, the one laid first, was the most important. It had to bear a great deal of weight, and it determined the true alignment of the temple. But buildings have more than one cornerstone. As Paul said, our sure foundation must also include apostles and prophets, with Christ himself as the cornerstone. The Lord himself once called the Nauvoo stake a cornerstone of Zion. "Your prayers are acceptable before me, and in answer to them I say unto you that you are now called immediately to make a solemn proclamation of my gospel and of this stake, which I have planted to be a cornerstone of Zion, which shall be polished with the refinement which is after the similitude of a palace." Also, the gospel itself is a foundational stone of our faith. The Lord said, "Build upon my rock, which is my gospel." The Lord also said that revelation was the rock upon which I will build my church. In other words, there are a number of foundational stones underlying our faith, but the chief cornerstone is Jesus Christ. So why does Isaiah make this statement here, right after and right before accusing God's people of making a covenant with death? He's saying that although they may have thought they were serving God, they were actually serving their own interests by appeasing the interests of others. He's implying that they didn't know Jehovah, who was the chief cornerstone of their faith, and they didn't understand the language of the Spirit. And because of that, they were making fatal decisions, even compromises with hell itself. But Isaiah says that God will not compromise on righteousness. "I will make justice the measuring line and righteousness the plumb line. Hail will sweep away your refuge, the lie, and water will overflow your hiding place." No matter what promises the covenant people make with hell, death will find them anyway. In the end, God will create circumstances that will force his people to move in one direction or the other. Before his people can create Zion, they must become righteous, even as measured by a plumb line. Those entering his holy abode must literally be sanctified. They must become his holy seed. So, if necessary, the Lord will drive them to make one decision or another, to create this change of heart or fall in with the adversary. And if they think their covenant with death will protect them from danger, they'll soon see that Satan will betray them. A sweeping hail and a roaring flood will overflow its banks and ravage the land of this people. And as Isaiah has said, this flood will be the Assyrian and his innumerable army. But remember, the chief cornerstone of Zion will be Jesus Christ, the Holy One of Israel. And if we are to enter into his presence, for he will make Zion his abode, we must ourselves become holy without spot. In other words, holiness and the protection of God will be the only refuge from the Assyrian. Next time, Isaiah shares one of his most unusual prophecies when he speaks of God's strange work and his strange act in the last days. I'm Curtis Taylor with the Words of Isaiah.